Hey y'all, it's your boy John Talla, and welcome to episode 2 of the Big Boy Basics. In this episode, we're going to go over the foundations, and in this part, in my opinion, all these are non-negotiables. If you do not have these things down, you will not get the results you are looking for. So this is a super important video, lots of basic stuff, but it's funny how many of us just skip over the fundamentals. So you need these to progress in the gym, and if you don't, you're just going to be spinning your wheels for a long time. So let's just get into it. First, a disclaimer as usual. These rules cannot be broken, though, is my opinion, as I said. These concepts are simplified. I'm not going into super in-depth detail, and this is filled with my own styles, my own biases of training, of course. So the first thing is on our foundations is we want to stay safe weightlifting. I hurt my back in 2018, which put me out for a couple months. Even recently, I tore my pec. That one was just kind of a freak accident in my opinion. But stay safe. Weightlifting is one of the safest activities, safest sports, so there's no need to make this dangerous. According to some studies, it's 1 injury for every 1,000 hours of training, which is super low compared to other sports. I mean, I used to play rugby and I got concussions from that. I broken my tooth, tons of things. Weightlifting is definitely much safer. So we don't need to make a safe activity dangerous. So don't make this a dangerous activity. There are easy steps to keep safe. Always have a spotter when you need a spotter. On the bench, don't guillotine press yourself on TikTok on accident. Don't have any of these gym fail compilations. Be you. And then always pick appropriate weights for yourself. This takes time to learn what you're capable of, but don't overshoot the gun when you're starting out with tons of 1-rep maxes when you barely even learn how to bench 135. Also learn correct form over time. Optimal training and optimal form will be dependent on you. Everyone's a little bit different, so take time to experiment with yourself to find what works for you, what doesn't hurt your elbows, doesn't hurt your shoulders, knees, etc. These things take time, and it's okay to take time. You'll start somewhere and slowly adjust over time. Also, if you do get injured, use it as a learning tool. Like I said, I hurt my back in 2018. I didn't lift for 6 months, but I learned from that and overcame it. Same when I tore my pec. Don't let this stop you. Just heal, take the proper steps to heal, and then use this as a learning experience. The second fundamental is you must have a training plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish, according to the map from Dora the Explorer. Now, I know a lot of people go to the gym without even a monthly plan or even really a weekly plan. So have a plan in place. It's going to make it a lot easier to track your progress, know what you're doing, so you're not just doing a different workout every single time and then wondering why you're not progressing on a bench press or a squat or even building muscle. Have a plan in place so you know what you're progressing on, so you can do similar lifts every single week and build muscle. You need a plan in place. If you don't have a plan, just check out my ebook in the description. It's free and at least get you started in the gym. Another non-negotiable is you must progressive overload. Progressive overload basically just means doing more weight slowly over time. So there are 2 main ways to do this. Either you can increase reps slowly or even sets. So instead of adding 5 pounds on the bar, which is the other way, add weight slowly. You can add more reps. So instead of, let's say, 3 sets of 8, next week you try 3 sets of 9, next week try 3 sets of 10. That way in 2 weeks, you've done 2 extra reps on all your sets. That's a way to do it. Or you can do 3 sets of 8, and the next week try for 4 sets of 8. You increased your volume using a set. These are the 2 main ways to progressive overload. A bigger muscle will generally move more weight, so you need to keep that in mind and slowly progressive overload over time. Another non-negotiable, you must sleep. So you can see I have Giga Chad with over 7 hours, and then I have this Deathly Wojak with less than 7 hours. It's not that simple, but I would even argue you need more than 8 hours of sleep if you want to put on serious muscle. This is when our body recovers, is during your sleeping time. That's when you do most of your recovery. So it'd make more sense to sleep more and get adequate sleep. Normal people need 7 hours. We're not normal people. We're trying to put on muscle. So it makes sense we need a little more. Don't neglect your sleep. This is when your repair is actually done for your body. And then you can become Giga Chad later. The next rule. Now you must eat. So there's a lot of different variations for how much protein you need. And we will go into it more in depth later. Just keep in mind for now, if you're using pounds, you want 0.5 grams to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. And if you're using kilograms, you want 1.2 kilograms to 1.7 kilograms per pound of body weight. So you don't I see a lot of like pound per pound for protein. Guys, it's my personal opinion, it's just way too much if you're not a professional bodybuilder. You will hit these nutrition goals if you're just eating normal food. If you're eating real food, you will hit an adequate amount of protein that will get you growing. Things like eggs, dairy, meat, you know, whole fat foods, tofu, legumes, lentils, peas. What did I miss? Oats as well. Like, eat real food, whole wheats, whole foods, and you will get adequate protein. As long as you're not only eating like apples and oranges and, you know, carrots and stuff, you'll be fine. Eat whole foods and you will be growing just fine, assuming your calories is where you need to be. Now, you don't need supplements to grow either. Personally, I like protein powder and creatine, but that's the only two supplements I take, and it's not even necessary. If you don't want to spend your money on it, don't spend your money on it. But I personally like them because it's just easier for me to get a little extra protein in the day, and I find creatine helps me in my workouts. So don't think you're gonna have the results you want if you're eating trash food. Do not dirty bulk with trash food. This is the food that repairs your body. So make sure what you're feeding yourself to repair your body with is quality food. You don't need to expend a ton of money on organic things. The American diet is so bad. If you're just eating like actual real food, even if it's not organic, you will be just fine. Now, this is one of the most important things. You must be consistent in all areas of your training. This includes sleep, your training, your nutrition, your stress management, and even your education and lifting. As you get more advanced, you will need different knowledge to keep progressing. This series will be very good to get you started and even to your intermediate days, but you'll need more knowledge after this if you want to keep progressing in the gym. And so definitely subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be providing more knowledge in the future. But you have to be consistent on all these variables. If one of these is missing, you're not going to progress. If you're doing everything right but sleeping 3-4 hours a day, your recovery is going to be trash. If you're doing all these things but not eating enough, you're not going to grow. You know, if you're doing everything right but then showing up to train once a week, you're not going to progress. All these things need to be consistent. You cannot miss multiple workouts every week then wondering why you're not growing. Everything needs to be in place. You need to be a habitual machine if you want to have results in the gym. This habit, this consistency is definitely one of the most important things, and it's a non-negotiable. If you don't even have this in check, this is where you need to start and just have a habit routine that gets everything in line for you. Then a very inspirational quote from Gandhi: "Those who don't sleep 8 hours a day dream the gains away." So that's it for the foundations. If you skip any of these, I can guarantee you're not going to see the results you want. In the next video, we're going to go over which workout split you should do. This is a full body series, but I'm also going to recommend one other one, and I'm going to outline all of them. But realistically, every lesson in this series could apply to all these splits if you don't personally like the split I recommend. So stick around for the other video. Peace.